Enjoy this two-part empowering episode of Diary of Happy Black Women, Part 2, Self-Care.
This space.
Thank you. So now we're moving on to self-care. What does self-care mean to you, and why is it important?
To me, self-care definitely means just like taking care of not only my mental health, but my body and like my spirit, and just doing things to make sure that I'm good and I'm happy and I'm living the life that I truly, desire, and just living the happy life that I want. So yeah, that's what self-care is to me. Oh, yeah, it's definitely important to me, because in high school I was very hard on myself. I didn't know anything about self-care, knew nothing about anxiety, didn't know I had it or anything. And so it didn't exist in my life. So I struggled a lot, always wondering like, why am I so angry? Why do I feel this way about myself? And back then I really thought that was me. I thought I was like this ugly person, this crazy mean person, like all these thoughts. I was like, yeah, this is true, which is why I was sad. But now as an adult and knowing what self-care is and doing the things that I have been doing, like I'm a better person, and knowing that continuously doing that, I can continue to be a better person and continue to be happy. I don't have to be that mean or angry or sad person and just sitting there stuck wondering like, woe is me. Like, and often I would feel like the world was doing this to me. I was always blaming the world. Like, these people are doing this to me and that's why I'm this way. Like I never understood. It was always the outside sources. But honestly, like with self-care and learning all this, I realize that it's like within, I have to start with myself. It's not the world. It's what I'm thinking inside. I create my own reality. If I'm having a good day today, nobody can stop me from having a good day.
Absolutely.
If I'm feeling beautiful today, nobody can stop me from feeling beautiful. It doesn't matter what I'm wearing or what I'm doing. It doesn't matter if I look mean today or whatever. I'm having a good ass day.
Yes.
But back then I never knew that. I didn't understand. And honestly, like I said, like, having a good foundation when you're younger would be great, because if I just had somebody when I was little to just tell me something,
Yes.
I would have been a little bit further than I am right now, but it doesn't matter. At least that I got there and I'm here where I am now.
Yes.
And I'm definitely going to keep doing better, because I have been. I've never been happier than I am right now. And I always try to focus on the present too. I do reflect on my past and think about how things affected me, because that does help me now and it helps me in the future, because I have to remind myself constantly that my mistakes do help me grow. Like challenges do help me grow. Failing, like having fear, I have to remember that those things are okay, because without fear or having failing, how am I going to know that I need to get better? If I didn't, like if I just sat there kept being mad, like I would just still be mad today. But I'm such a happier person, and I'm so glad that I'm here, and I'm so glad that I can share this with people and share this with you guys. So yeah.
I love it. I would say for me, self-care is extremely important for me. It was taught to me at a very young age. My mom, they look at our mani pedis. Back in the day, going to like Bath and Body Works when it was actually like $4 or $5 for like a lotion. We would just always do things like that. Even when I started my monthly woman, right? My mom, I will never forget, she took me to a restaurant. She was like, we had the whole woman talk, and then every other week she would always make sure I had my lotions, my things like that. If I had a stressful day, because I did go through bullying, she'd like, just listen to some waves, or let's go to the park and maybe go hug a tree. And so little things like that were introduced to me at a very young age. So I say that to say, if you have babies, teach them about self-care. Self-care sometimes can just be doing like my ice facials, or it can be taking a really cool shower and then sitting on the couch and just listening to calming music. I'm a jazz lover, and I didn't realize until I got older that it was another form of therapy for me. So developing certain sounds and learning about different things, music. I did orchestra growing up. So I found like kind of playing violin or things like that was another sense of self-care, because I was able to tap into my safe side. My mom taught me to tap into my safe side, and my safe side is my inner child. And my inner child is crazy, okay? Like crazy and super adventurous and confident. And doesn't second guess. So I always try to tap into that. And even being an adult now, the way that I do that is Doing what's not every day. And what I mean by that is trying to change my everyday life. I love to live in a movie. And my honey taught me this. And he said, it's okay to have a movie. It's okay to have a fairy tale life. Why can't you? Again, right? Happy Black woman, right? Like, why can't that be my life? I do wake up with the breakfast and the birds chirping and, the light, dimming into the window. Like, that is my everyday life. So I say that to say as well, like, my self-care is just living in my movie, changing it up, not doing the same old thing every day, every weekend, like really trying new cafes and going to get body massages. I suggest to anybody, at the beginning of the month and the end of the month, go get a body massage. Your body goes through so much. Do that and do it routinely if you can, because it can be a bit pricey. But if you find somebody that's really wholesome and you like them and they do your body right, because I love to be touched, okay? It's just something about it. You will see the difference in you. Get a chiropractor. Get someone to make sure your alignment is okay. Go just get a foot massage. Even a hand massage is wonders. Oh, I learned. I'm like, these little things go through a lot. So there's so many ways, but just be willing to step outside your normal, find new things, and get creative with it. And when you do that, I promise you, it'll open you up to a whole nother world. And you're going to want more, and you're going to be more open-minded to things. So I love self-care. I think it's very important, and I think it's beautiful if it can be introduced very early, because it teaches you a lot about boundaries and just self-care all the way around, and self-love also.
I love how you said, like, my self-care and how you brought up, like, the jazz and everything, because self-care really is different for everyone.
Absolutely.
And I feel like in the beginning, at least for me, and a lot of people may relate, like, they just think self-care is the same for everyone, but finding these different things that you love, like whether it's the jazz or exercising, meditation, it's really important to figure out what works for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No, I agree, because like you said, even when you were younger, all you were taught were both sides. All you were taught was the physical. Same. I took baths, makeup, like all of that I thought was just self-care, just like externally, like taking care of yourself. But no, really, it is reading a book. It is going outside, smelling fresh air, touching grass.
Oh, yes. That's like such an underrated, like really nice thing. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, go barefooted if you're brave and just, it is like, this is life. It is not
fresh
that bad.
Grass too, yes.
Oh my goodness. And don't let the sprinklers come on, because I'm running through
And the
them,
smell,
okay?
my favorite smell is the smell of cut grass. Like, is that y'all? Like,
no, that's
the
No,
ocean,
I love
something.
it. I love it. Yes.
And I love the living your life like a movie too, because I feel like often people try to tell you that you can't live your life that way because it's just a fantasy. But it's really great to have somebody to be like, you can live your life like that.
You
You know,
and girl,
that's amazing.
it's not a fantasy. It's very, very real.
Yeah.
And it is very possible. And it's, again, it's making sure that you're living life for you. That's the most important piece of it all, right? Because if you're living for you, then you're not worried about everybody else. So I don't even give people the time, not even an ounce of time, to tell me this is what you should do. No. This is what's working, and it's working because it is our movie, and we're making it what we want it to be. I don't need to explain it to you. Just know I'm happy, and just know it is possible. These movies were made for a reason. Somebody experienced this love. I don't care what you tell me, even Princess and the Frog. It happened, okay?
Yeah.
And I am that princess, and I'm living it, and I found my Prince Charming. So it is possible, and life can be so freaking cool if you really just go for it.
Exactly.
Right.
And like you said, realizing that it's okay. For whatever decisions that you want to make, do it. Because at the end of the day, why would I want to listen to somebody that's also learning as well? You don't even know.
Right.
How are you going to tell me? How are you going to tell me about my life?
We both
Who are you? Yeah, who are you? Like, are we okay? Because, like, what's going on, honestly? Because why do you want me to do what you want to do so
Why
bad?
do you even care that much?
Why do you care so much? You want me to because you're afraid to. You're afraid to go after the things that you want to go to. Now you're going to push and project that onto me, as in I should be afraid of my own dreams and my own goals in life as of you. And it's okay. Like, you know what? Okay, I'll take your suggestions and advice and accordingly, like, add that into my life if I want. But at the end of the day, I'm okay if whatever decision I make good or bad, I'm okay with that. Because
Yes.
what's wrong with making a mistake? What's wrong with being wrong?
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize, like, it's okay to be wrong.
Yes.
Especially after, like, COVID and all that. Like, no one knew anything about COVID. But then to put your 100% trust into a government to make decisions for yourself instead of making decisions for yourself, it's crazy.
Right.
Absolutely.
Especially dealing it with your health.
Absolutely. I
Because
agree.
the world has changed so much in the last 3 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize, like, the trajectory of a world pandemic did on especially all of our mental health.
It definitely
Like,
switched up things.
Saying hello,
Yeah.
like you were saying earlier, a lot of people don't even have those social experiences anymore because
No.
everyone is so guarded and, like, shut off, like,
Yes.
you're sick or
You know,
you're,
people are
you
so
don't think
mean during
mean.
the pandemic. Like, I've never met so many rude people during the pandemic. I kid you not, one time we were in the grocery store and my nephew was with me and this woman literally just, like, pushes him to get to something. And I'm like,
gosh.
I understand people are sick, honey, but that did not kill your manners. That did not kill your eyesight. Nothing like that. Get some common sense about yourself. Don't allow, and that's why too, I don't watch the news. I'm a person, I do not. I respect those that do, but I don't need to wake up to a disaster.
No.
I don't need to wake up to bad news. I don't need to wake up to the same thing I already know is going on and has been going on. But I say that to say life is going to happen. And even in the midst of chaos, whether it's health, financial, whatever, don't allow that to be an excuse of why you don't have common sense to be courteous, to be compassionate, to acknowledge people. So I definitely agree with you. Definitely during the pandemic, like, oh my goodness, I'm like zombies. Okay. Like,
Especially
you
now
guys.
because of social media and all that. A
Absolutely.
lot of people have so much of an influx of knowledge and,
Yes.
like, that you can easily obtain. But also, on the other hand, even though that knowledge and resources are there, you don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah, right.
A lot of people don't know. Like, and actually 90% of everything on the internet is not true to begin with. So it's like you're going out into a situation with what you've learned online and you formed your own opinion and now you're projecting that on everybody else. And it's just like, when are we actually going to learn that it's okay to just like solely be on your own? That's the best part about self-care, like you were saying, is just formatting your own ideas and belief system and being okay with someone else having their own belief system as well. That's why it is the self. Not everybody is supposed to agree on everything. And it's actually kind of annoying. I don't like being friends or reaching out to people that are okay with, like, not sticking with something that they know. Because it's like, when are you going to actually make a decision for yourself?
Right.
You know what I mean?
They
and
say
it's
if
hard.
you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
everything.
And that's why I don't care who gets tired of it. I love my belief. I love, like, I'm a Christian woman. I don't care whatever. I accept all. I feel like God is love, and that means to love everybody despite our differences. But even during COVID and things like that, whatever decisions you want to make for your body, for your family, that is on you. I respect it. However, I stand for something. I believe in certain things. It doesn't make me a bad person. And I think that this conversation can go into a whole lot of other topics, but I may not agree with certain ways that you live or that you do things. I did not say I did not like you as a human. That does not mean I'm going to disrespect you. However, I have to stand on what I stand for, because if I don't, then I will be victim like everybody else. At some point, be comfortable enough to say, okay, but I'm going to still stand over here. And if I'm standing by myself, that's okay. I'm going to enjoy this breeze. It's so much space. I don't have to explain myself.
Relevant example. The whole submarine situation. Would y'all have gone on that submarine?
No, absolutely not.
Okay,
Absolutely
I'm going to
not.
have to stand alone on this one. And in my own self-care situation, the only reason why I would have done that is just to say, I have done it. You know what I mean? I would have been down there. I would have been dead. But you know what? The crazy part about the whole situation is making that decision for yourself, being okay with your decision.
Yeah.
And a lot of people aren't. And
No,
that's
absolutely.
literally, like, we're all going to die.
Yes. And, I'm going to support
Unfortunately.
you. I would support you. I'm like,
Same,
listen,
like-
girl, we're going to make you a life jacket, all types of stuff. Ready to go.
You're good.
I would support towards you? Because I tell people all the time, I
Why
don't want
not?
to turn 40 saying I wish I
I
could
did
have did,
something.
you know, no, I don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
So even like skydiving, I am going next year. I
Good.
have to do
nice.
it.
Good.
Like, it's certain things I just want to do. So if that's something you want to do, go for it. There's people, even if you didn't do it, somebody's not going to agree with that.
Yeah.
If you did do it, someone's not going to agree with that. So it's one of those things. Does it really matter? Because if you listen to everybody else, you're going to be doing this all day.
Yep.
Where you can just stand in what you feel and do it.
And not even enjoy your moment, because you're always going to be so worried about, well, this decision was made because of this and that. Or I made this decision to make someone else happy.
Yes.
You know, like, and it's kind of sad because it's like not everybody lives their life that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it was Drake who said this line, like, no, actually, not Drake. It's Kanye.
Like,
it's definitely Kanye, and it was his speech for whenever he won the Grammys.
Okay.
He was just like, a lot of people miss their moment and want to talk about it later. They never are able to actually enjoy their moment when it happens. And it's sad because everybody's also chasing something instead of actually just like sitting and enjoying, being present.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing about self-care that I love. It's just like being present in your happiness.
Yes.
Because you don't know where life is going to take you. You could be paralyzed, car accident, whatever, plane crash, like, but as long as you're okay, you lived a life that's fulfilling and all for yourself, then what's the problem?
Absolutely.
You shouldn't have any problems with, like, fear.
No.
Fear holds a lot of people back.
It does.
Holds a lot of people back, and it's sad.
It is.
I always try to wake up every morning and like just think, because to me I always think that life is such a gift. Because I'm like, how did I get here? Like, out of all the little sperms or whatever that made it to my mom's egg, like, I was the one that came out. And I'm not going to waste my time here on earth because we have such a short time here, like, letting other people's opinions affect me and how I'm going to live my life. And I'm not going to let, like, if you want to go in that submarine, go in that submarine because that's your life. That's how you're going to live it. But we're going to make sure that you got your life jacket, you know?
Exactly,
Like,
girl.
and we're
We'll have our beamer.
I'll have my t-shirt with Naomi written on it afterwards, too.
We're right
like,
here when you come to the top.
Yeah, but that's your life. As long as you're happy, like, that's okay. Like, even with friends, you know, like, say if my friend was going through, she was with a bad boyfriend or something like that, and I'd be like, you need to break up with him. He's terrible, da-da-da-da-da. But she'd never listen, would never break up. It has to take that person to realize what they need to do. They have to figure it out themselves. And I just have to learn to just, like, take a step back, give your advice. And I usually tell my friends, too, like, take what you need and leave what you don't. Like, if I give my friends some advice, like, take whatever you need from me, but if what I'm saying you don't need it, just leave it behind. And also another thing I'm trying to practice with my friends too is, like, when we need to rant or talk about something, we try to ask each other, like, do you need advice right now? Or do you need some comfort right now? Like, what do you need from me out of this conversation? So yeah, life is a gift, y'all.
It is.
No, you're right, because intense situations, you know? But that's the best thing about self-care and, like, practicing it, especially in your life. So, like, in your life, a busy lifestyle, what are some quick, effective techniques to reduce stress and build resilience with self-care?
Ricky. You know, outside of it being my career, I did it on myself for quite a long time. Like I said, I just naturally always been this very sweet, optimistic little person. I'm still little. But as far as what I do on a daily, I do Reiki. And all Reiki it is a form of meditation. It comes from the Asian region. To me, it reminds me of stillness meditations. If you've ever done that, it's where you're absolutely still. You don't hear anything. You don't feel anything. You're just still and you're just listening. And what it does is allow you, like I said, in those moments where all you're doing is going. Well, when you sit still, sometimes people be like, wow, I don't have the time. I don't have, right? Or I'm always thinking about this and I can't slow down. Well, let's say if I was able to put you in a position, get you absolutely still, would you trust to do that? And as simple as it sounds, a lot of people will say no. Like, no, what's going to happen? Or what does that mean? And it goes to show you're so afraid to just sit in your feelings that you can't sit down for a moment and just shut it off. Because you feel if I sit down long enough, I'll begin feeling things that I thought I didn't need to, you know, address, or I'll start thinking about things, or I'll start kind of like a breakup, right? If it's really hard, you want to move nonstop because you don't want to, if you feel like if I sit down, I'm going to think about it, I'm going to be crying. Well, with Ricky in stillness meditation, it teaches you, I can have you sit down, cry, and smile at the same time. I can teach you and show you past trauma that is still the reason of why you can't get past this little hurdle in your life. Ricky helps with so many things. I do infants, whether babies, myself, whether helping women with fertility or self-identity, ADHD, anxiety, depression, childhood trauma. It's helped me as well with childhood trauma, with my depression, with my anxiety, 100%. It's helped me to just really be that happy Black woman. I know that life happens. I'm very aware. So many people are like, Ashley, but it's freaking storming and you're sitting up here laughing like it's a rainbow. And I'm like, I see the storm, but I swear to you, the rainbow in me is much bigger. The happiness in me is much bigger. Like I've gotten to a place where it sat me down and I've been still long enough to know I am safe. I am good. I'm worthy of this. I'm not going to allow this to conquer me. I'm not going to allow this to beat me. Ricky has really just transformed my mind, and that's why I say it's all the way that you think about it. So again, to answer your question, I do Ricky on a daily basis. I suggest it to anyone. It's as simple as just kind of formulating the energy from your own body. And utilizing that energy, you would do kind of like your own physical scanning. And that scanning is checking the blockers within your chakras. So if you have blockers, that means something happened. So for instance, if your heart is blocked, something in life happened to where you're afraid to love, you're afraid to feel. Or for some people, your root chakra, which is what you, when you tap into that, that's your creative side, your spirituality. If that has a block, well, who hurt you? What happened in life for you to just give all hope down? Or what happened in life that made you feel like I don't have any more hope? This doesn't matter. So on and so forth. But when you do Ricky long enough, I suggest to do it at least twice a month to actually see results. It will change the way that you think about things, to the fact where if you're having fertility issues, for example, that's literally a mind thing sometimes. Even with our health, everything is literally the way that we think about it, the way that we choose to speak about it. If you can transform that, I've had over 5 results of women where it was a struggle to where now babies are just coming because you've allowed that energy to do what it needs to do for your body, removing those blockers from your chakras. You've trusted yourself. You trusted your higher power, and you've allowed the universe to do the rest for you. So I highly suggest Ricky to anyone. If you ever want more information about it, I love to teach about it because I'm just a Zen freak. But it's amazing, and I do it every day, and if I don't do that, I do my sound bowls. I usually pray or meditate my first 15 minutes waking up before my day gets started. Stretching. Yoga is absolutely amazing. You'll be surprised at how much tension and anxiety we hold within our body. And if you stretch enough, it will release all that excess energy. So that's my forms of meditating.
Yeah, so for me, I definitely recommend exercise.
Yes.
Because a lot of the times I have so many things going on in my head, and with anxiety, I often feel like sometimes I just can't control my life. Like things are just happening right now. Like I can't do anything. Like work sucks. Like the world sucks or something like that. But when I go to the gym, I always feel like this is something that I can control.
Right.
I can transform my body, and I always feel so much more confident afterwards, It's honestly like, especially when I run, it's like a breath of fresh air. Honestly, I'm like just breathing the air and breathing it out. I come back and I always feel like really renewed. So at least, with my busy schedule, I try to at least fit in exercise wherever I can. And honestly, sometimes, like if I'm having a bad day or I just had a bad conversation with somebody on the phone or something, I'm like, oh, I need to run or
too.
something like that. I need to go outside and run.
Yes.
Just doing that, I'm like, at least I have control over this. I have control over me. I have control over my body.
Yes.
And also just seeing my own body change. It's just like, this is so cool. Like that I can do this. I can shape something myself. I can shape me. I can shape my body physically. I can shape my body mentally. So it's just really, really nice, and it gives you a lot of confidence. And I feel like the more you exercise too, like you're just confident in yourself, you're confident in multiple areas within your life, you know? And it changed my like brain a lot, like during the pandemic. You know, I know that was a very sad time, but a lot of good stuff came out of that for me. Like just being at home and not being around a lot of people. I was with myself and my cats so much. It was just me and my cats talking, you know? So then I was like, that really made me realize that I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to lose weight for so long, and it took like this mental thing. It started with my brain first, and I didn't realize that in order to lose weight, my brain had to be there first. Yes. I had to talk to myself so much, because so often I would stop, I would try to lose weight, and then it just didn't work because my brain was never there. But then once I like did that, I was like, all right, I'm ready to go. Let's do this. So
we're in drive.
Like we are in drive now. So that was just so great to finally have control over something. Absolutely. Like it helped me believe in myself, like to actually do something and to challenge myself. It made me feel like I could do anything, you know, just really creating that belief. So yeah, putting exercise in my day, whatever way that I can. It also doesn't have to be the gym. I feel like a lot of people think that you need to go to the gym to exercise. I love to go hiking.
I love hiking.
Being out in nature, that's another thing.
Especially early in the morning or in the evening, hear the animals. It is like so amazing.
It's relaxing.
I love it.
And I love going to Mount Charleston because out here in Vegas, it is so hot. But going up there in the mountains and being alone too is just so grounding. It really does ground me. And I always get amazed. I'm like, oh my God, look at the mountains. And the birds and I didn't know this was life. Like, you know, suddenly like if the day is super bad or I'll see a bad news story, like I just come outside and I'm like, wow, like this is amazing. I don't need to care about, well, I don't want to say I don't need to care about anything, but I don't need to focus on all of those like bad things. Absolutely. And also a lot of the times I felt like, especially I worked in news too, I always felt like I needed to worry about the world's problems too, like seeing so many world issues. I'm like, oh, I need to be worried about these people. I need to be worried about everything. And I always like carried it too for some reason. Carry it back home, and it's just like I don't need to be like worried about all these world issues. I need to come back to myself and worry about me. Do my little exercises, my little meditation, and definitely stretching too. I love stretching so much. You know, I'm always like tense and just like doing anything to stretch my body out. I get super relaxed, and also taking really nice baths. I feel like I don't take baths enough. I try to take more baths. I try to take them at least once a month. Not just sitting in a bath, super relaxing. And also getting massages from your significant other, you know? That's real nice.
That's beautiful.
So yeah, that's what I recommend.
Yes. Oh, I love that. I love especially how you said not allowing other people to take those problems and put them on you.
Yes.
Like, because as Black women, naturally, we just, like, want to take care of everyone. You know? Like, even just growing up, our brothers, cousins, mom, dad, like, you always want to, like, make sure that everyone else is good before yourself. Before yourself. And it's, like, kind of, like, sad because we're raised that way. You know? Motherly figures. But, like, as Black women, how could we personally incorporate self-care rituals in our daily lives and put ourselves as a priority first? How would you, what practices would you say helps you into prioritizing your life?
I would say recently I started going to women's circles. So I would go to like different healing circles, different sound baths, doing yoga in the park with different women, because eventually it starts a conversation, and that conversation it forms into a therapeutic type of setting where I'm able to release these things. I'm able to release my frustrations, and I'm able to allow someone to say, take this cape off, but let me put my cape on you. It also allows me to kind of dig deep into myself and figure out what I need. I've also started doing women groups at my church, so kind of being able to get that spiritual aspect of it. So typically what I'll do, even if it's just on my own time outside of my support systems, waking up, doing my prayer, my meditation, doing yoga, from there doing like a facial or something like that, some sense of self-care for myself, doing a workout. After that, I manifest. I have a manifest journal, and then I have a Black Woman's Power journal. And that, both of them allows me to have like a journal entry. So I'll respond to that journal entry. And then I'll talk about how I will accomplish these things. Not how I may not, what I'm dealing with right now, because none of that matters. And I'll even tell some of my clients that I'm not saying it's not important, because I know you're going through it, but what does that have to do with tomorrow? What does that have to do with the goals you have a month, a year from now? That has nothing to do with it. Deal with it in this moment and let it go. But don't allow it to affect your future goals. Those are still very much possible. So I always try to align my daily life to just be a day full of manifestation, affirming, reconfirming some things for myself. And then if I don't do that, like I said, I'll go to my women, and typically it's just in those different healing circles where we just sit down and we talk and we process some things, and I'm able to just release, that extra tension. And I feel like that's important in a community when you're able to find it, like your circle, having that. And like you said, do you need comfort? Do you need a hug? Do you need love? Do you need a smile? Whatever that may be, having access to people to be able to give that to you is a very powerful thing. So that's what I do for me.
To prioritize myself, I have to create goals, so just like as you said, as Black women, we always feel like, we have to be responsible and take care of everyone, I'm always trying to take care of so many different things at once, but creating goals for myself really keeps me going, and organizing myself, because most of the time and a lot of time in my life, I have just been this unorganized mess. So just like scheduling things and keeping myself on track, like doing whether it's like fitness goals or career goals, I'm continuously working towards something for me, making sure that I'm doing things to make me happy.
Absolutely.
And was there another part of the question? Sorry.
Yeah, it was just advice that you can give Black women to like prioritize their mental health and self-care. Any advice you have?
Okay. But yeah, definitely I advise, to schedule your life and try to be more organized, because if you're all over the place, your life will probably be a little bit all over the place too. And it'll be harder to reach goals too. So just creating these goals for myself, at least I can focus on things that are important to me. I always remember that although I may be doing this for my parents or doing this for my boyfriend, I still got these things that I need to do to ensure that I'm still living my happy life. Because as we said earlier, like being alone, we always have to, we're going to be on our own sometimes, and you have to be good in that place. Like, what if the whole world, I was the last woman on earth? What am I going to do? Right. I have to be okay with that, so that's what I do.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree with both of you guys. Just making sure that you have your life in order, in order to help someone else.
Yes.
Because if you're not okay, especially in the head, how are you going to be out there in the world trying to do better for someone else?
Yes.
Like it's you're going to run into more challenges actually. So I agree. I really loved all the things that you guys said today. I really appreciate you guys sharing your perspectives, giving people advice.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people don't have these conversations, and we need to, especially as Black people. We need to start talking more with one another and like actually acknowledging what's right and what's wrong in family dynamics and friend dynamics, even in business. Because we don't know. We're just now starting out, and we are trying to reach to the top just like everybody else, because we deserve to be there. It's our time. It's our time.
Yes, it is. Prime time, baby.
I appreciate you guys so much for being on here. If you guys have anything else for the community to share, your socials, your businesses, anything you'd like to share. Everyone would love to know more about you guys.
I definitely, one more word of advice, don't put a time limit on anything. I've learned the more you put a time and a date on something, the more anxiety you build, the more stress you build. Because then if that day and time comes and you don't accomplish what you would have liked, you're beating yourself up, right? And it's like, life is going to happen. So if you're going to put a time and day on things, then at least be realistic and know that life is going to happen. And with life, that can throw you all over the place. So my biggest suggestion is don't put time on anything. Just put those manifestations out there. Trust the universe, trust your higher power, trust yourself, because you're thebomb.com, and just allow life to work it out. But it will come. Be patient. We are in a society where we're used to everything just happening. That is not the way that the mental and the spirit works. Trust yourself, trust time, and it will work out. But you guys can find me at @sunflowergram on Instagram, TikTok. Again, that's @sunflowergram. On Instagram and TikTok, I am the Las Vegas Healer. I am here and available to you anytime and outside of any time with these beautiful ladies. Just doing some deep conversation. You can find me on all platforms, and I am here to help. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I also want to leave you guys with a little note as well to add on top of that is to also just take each day one at a time. Just worry about today. I know, everyone has large goals, but they take time. So just worry about the one little step you can take today. And then tomorrow you'll worry about what you got to take care of tomorrow, because eventually those small steps will lead you eventually to your goal. And also don't, pay attention or compare yourself to outside sources, because you are on your own journey and everybody has their different journey. So never compare yours to somebody else, because they're going through something that you have no idea, and you're going through something that no one else knows about. So also with my social media, you can find me on Instagram at The Social Crusher, or on TikTok at _The Social Crusher _. You can follow me for self-care, fitness, meditation, yoga, honestly, just living my best healthy life as, a Black woman. And I really want other people to go through this journey with me. And I really want to help people as much as I can, because as we've been doing here, you're not alone. We can all relate to some things in a different way. So I encourage you to find your community, just as we're trying to help you find it. So yeah.
Thank you. So sweet. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you guys again. Thank you. Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Awesome.
It was. It was amazing.
Great.
Oh my
That
gosh.
was so awesome.
Okay, cool.